Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond with no new moves was a fun but brutally long run. Let's follow that up with a faster one. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Red with a team of only fossil Pokemon. So I feel like this idea is pretty simple, right? We can only use Pokemon that you can get from fossils. Normally, you can only get fossil Pokemon quite late in the game in Gen 1, but we have the Pokemon randomizer, so we can just start with one. I guess this will be kind of like a mono rock type run, but with only one Pokemon for the whole first half of the game. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. This doesn't sound too hard to me overall. Really, I just need a fast run after how brutally long that Brilliant Diamond run took. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use fossil Pokemon. I'll need to use other Pokemon for HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Oh, and we've got another Chimera sponsorship. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Omanite so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Helix. Just makes sense. You know where this is going, don't you? So it's time to get the first part of the run done, Viridian Forest. Man, it feels so wild to be playing this right now. Did you know that I haven't done a Gen 1 run in like 3 whole months? Feels good to get back to this game. I mean, other than the fact that we're in Viridian Forest. Nothing here really hurts that much, but we can get poisoned from Poison Sting, and Poison is pretty brutal in the early game. Oh right, and a bunch of you commented saying you didn't like the Super Game Boy border thing since it made the gameplay too small on mobile, so I just turned that off for you. Anyway, I'm sure you can already tell from the footage why I took Omanite. He starts with Water Gun, a move that's great against Brock's Rock-type gym. Problem is, we don't learn anything other than Water Gun and Withdraw until level 34. In fact, if you ask me, we don't learn a single good move by level up until Hydro Pump. Considering we're going to be evolved by then, we won't learn that till level 59. We're going to have to grab some decent TMs this run. This is the whole reason why we didn't take Kabuto at the start, by the way, because he only has Scratch and Harden until level 34. The rock fight would take forever if I went with that first. Both of these guys are going to need TMs before they can do any real damage. After the forest is the rock gym. Yeah, it was super easy thanks to Water Gun. No real danger here. Now is when I'm getting a little worried though. See, we have Misty's Water Gym coming up, and although we take neutral damage from her, we still only have water moves. That means I'm gonna have to get a TM for a proper move before I fight her. I can't really do that until I get to the SSN though, and that's not till after the rival fight. That tends to be a problem. I mean, what am I gonna do? Water Gun his Bulbasaur into submission? It's my only choice. I think I'm gonna have to just fight every trainer on my way and hope to crit him when I get there. On our way there, I took the Dome Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Does this feel surreal to any of you guys? Because I wasn't planning to take this fossil when I first decided to do this run. I just looked at the movesets when I was about to start and realized that this is probably the best run to finally take it. Took, what, like 130 challenges? But I did it. Alright, everyone can tune out now. That was the only good part of the episode. On the other side, I went straight after our rival. It took a few tries just to start the fight since Pidgeotto uses Sand Attack a lot, but on the third try, we never got hit by it. His Abra can't fight back, so I used that as a chance to build up our defense a bit. When he went down, it ensured that Rattata could hardly hurt us, so I went into the Bulbasaur fight with a lot of health. It was looking hopeful when he randomly used Growl, but it only took 2 Vine Whips to take us down. I'll need to get a few more levels and try again. Okay, 4 levels later. It's crazy what a few levels can do in early game. Water Gun is doing noticeably more damage, especially with that crit, and even though we still nearly faint due to Leech Seed, Vine Whip was doing a lot less damage than it was before. I was worried that we were going to be stuck here for a while. Now, just because we can beat the rival doesn't mean that we're ready for Misty. As much as I'd love to march in there and take that Bubble Beam TM that she has, there's no way we're beating her with Water Guns, so we have a cruise to go catch. Once we get to the S.S. I grab the TM for Body Slam and learn it right away. It would be stronger if we left this TM for Kabuto later in the game since he'll have more attack than we will, but I don't think we'll even get to that part of the game without a better move than Water Gun, so I'm just gonna use it now. While I'm in the boat, I go after the rival again. Considering he's hardly leveled his team, most of it just went down to Body Slam super easily. I was a little worried about Ivysaur since, you know, he evolved, but it still worked out alright. You think maybe the Pokemon Tower rival fight is gonna be hard for once? Nah, I'll probably be evolved by then. We'll be fine. And as soon as I leave, I take a crack at the water gym. Staryu ended up getting the 256 glitch, so he missed his water gun as we took him down. That was hilarious. Starmie hit for a bit of damage with Bubble Beam, but our Body Slams did a pretty great job of taking him down. Right away I used the Bubble Beam TM to get a better water move. Right after that is the Electric Gym, and I was pretty worried since we're weak to it, but Bubble Beam one-shot the first two Pokemon, and he used Thunder Shock instead of Thunderbolt, so it went perfectly fine. I still don't think I'm ready for the Grass Gym, though. While I make my way through Rock Tunnel, let's talk about the video's sponsor, Chimera. Chimera is a site where you can buy some really nice clothes for a reasonable price. I don't want to talk about the same thing every ad, so I'm going to get into something specific. Maybe it's just because I'm an old, almost 30-year-old, but I really want to focus on the plain tees. I love me a good graphic tee, and Chimera does do those very well, but you just can't beat a super comfy plain t-shirt. Chimera's plain t-shirts are actually the nicest feeling ones I own, and I'm sure you know from the last decade of streams, I have a lot of t-shirts. If you want to feel as comfy as I do right now writing this script in my Chimera shirt and sweatpants, then hop on over to chimera.com and use my code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout for a discount. I've got links to all that stuff below in the description for you. Thank you for your time, now let's go beat up Team Rocket. So we have access to the Grass Gym, but I'm pretty sure we just get taken out right away by Razor Leaf, so I decided to do the Team Rocket hideout first. If we beat this place and the Pokemon Tower, then I can go get the Surf HM from the Safari Zone to get a stronger water move. Who knows, maybe I can even take out the Poison Gym? I mean, if I can, then I'll be able to revive my fossils early, and that would be pretty sweet. First though, we have a Giovanni fight. I didn't even go into this fight with full health and we still totally destroyed him. Normally if this fight is difficult at all, it's because of Kangaskhan, but we resist normal moves, so really wasn't a problem. Next, we have the Pokemon Tower rival fight. Pidgeotto was a one-shot with Bubble Beam, but second is his Water Onix. I was kind of worried at first, since he resists water and he crit us with Hydro Pump, but it really wasn't that bad, and 2 Body Slams did the trick. Growlithe was a one-shot, and next was Kadabra, who outsped us but didn't do much damage before we one-shot him. Last was Ivysaur, who thankfully used Leech Seed, so we landed a 2-shot. As soon as that ended, we evolved. Now I'm feeling really good about that Poison Gym. Okay, after clearing that out and the Pokemon Tower, I went straight for Surf. Let's go fight Koga. Honestly, we destroyed him. Omastar is pretty strong. I don't think he's gonna slow down very much until Lorelei. With that win, we can finally revive our fossils. Right away, I go back to Pewter City to grab the Old Ember, and then I surf over to Cinnabar to revive both of our fossils. First, the Old Amber gets us Aerodactyl, one of the highest base stat Pokemon in Gen 1. Its moves totally suck, but we can slap Fly on it and at least have a solid damaging move for grass types. We also get Kabuto. As cool as it is, it's not really that great of a Pokemon in Gen 1, since all water moves are special and he's got high attack, not special. Plus, he actually doesn't learn any rock moves in this game. We're probably just gonna put Surf on him and use him as a backup. Maybe Slash will be good later in the game when he actually learns it. While we're in town though, I tried the Fire Gym. We double resist fire though, so even if it wasn't Blaine, he wouldn't stand a chance. I just used the gym as a way to get a little bit of experience on Aerodactyl by switch training. Oh, and now that we have Aerodactyl, let's try that Grass Gym. It was super easy with Fly. Our attack is really good. I should probably grind Aerodactyl up more though, since it'll be our hardest hitter for the Lorelei fight, so I have to make sure that I can outspeed Jinx. So the next part of the game is Silph-Co. We have a few major fights left in the game before the Elite Four, but to be honest, the only battles I see being difficult are the rival ones at this point. Well, then probably Lorelei. Other than that, we've got a couple of Giovanni battles that should be one-shot sweeps, and a Sabrina fight that I'm sure will go just about as easily. Still, other than Helix, our team is kind of falling behind. I slapped Blizzard on Dome so that he'd have an ice move that can deal some serious damage to make up for his low special, but it's mostly just so that I have a backup against Lance later in the game. Dome still kinda sucks. Amber's gonna need some levels too, considering that it'll be our hardest hitter against Lorelei, in spite of his ice and water weakness. Still might just have to use Helix on that because he resists it, don't know. I'll try and get some experience off a bunch of these trainers, then I'll try the rival fight. Pidgeot is first. We took a quick attack for a little bit of damage, but our following surf was actually a one-shot. For Water Onix, we lucked out on the first body slam, fully paralyzing him. On the second round, he did a chunk of damage to us with Hydro Pump, but we still won. Gotta love that not very effective text on the Hydro Pump, by the way. Don't worry, it was actually normal effectiveness, the text is just glitched sometimes in Gen 1. Anyway, next is Growlithe, who's of course a one-shot, leveling us up and letting us learn Hydro Pump ourselves. Alakazam is always a bit scary since he can really mess us up fast on a crit, and in Gen 1, they crit a lot. But this time, it went perfectly fine. Last was Venusaurus, so I sent in Amber and did pretty amazing damage off Fly. All he used was Leech Seed, so our wing attack was able to finish it. That went pretty smoothly. Next was Giovanni. Nidorino instantly went down to Surf, and next was Kangaskhan, so I tried sending in Amber. Right away, Giovanni started with his weird items, and we missed our 95 accuracy Fly because of course we did. It took a few tries, but we easily took him down since he was just using Rage. After that, all he had were ground types, so they were all one-shots with Surf, just as we expected. With that done, we can go clean up the last two gyms. First is the Psychic Gym. Like usual, the gym went easily until Alakazam, who probably could have really hurt us if he used Psychic. Unfortunately, he used Psywave twice instead, basically doing nothing. Then the Ground Gym. Yeah, you know how this was gonna go. Last before the Elite Four is one last rival fight. Right away was Pidgeot, so I just one-shot it with Hydro Pump, and second was a Rhyhorn who went down in one surf. That's the easy stuff out of the way. Next is Water Onix, so I started body slamming him. He spams Hydro Pump on us and manages to deal pretty great damage after the second one crit. We took him down, but were hurt. Growlithe was a one-shot, and next up is Alakazam. Right away he outsped us and hit Psychic to take us to only 11 health. But our body slams ended up paralyzing him, so on the second round, we got the speed advantage and knocked him out. Last was Venusaur, so I had Amber use Fly right away. Weirdly, Venusaur hit us with Vine Whip, but it actually critted and nearly knocked us out. On the next Fly, we got the win, but if he used Razor Leaf, we probably would have just fainted without a good backup for grass types. That could have gone a lot worse. So normally this is where I would go over our stats and we'd guess on if we can win the run or not, but really our Omastar is our only Pokemon that's a proper level for this, so I took some time to start grinding Dome up. I've got to at least evolve him, right? I also got the TM for Ice Beam to give to Helix, and I used Blaine's Fire Blast TM on Aerodactyl. Yeah, Aerodactyl can learn Fire Blast for some reason. I don't think he'll be very good at it, but maybe it'll be good for Jinx. Anyway, here's our stats and moveset now. Yeah, we're still pretty low leveled. I'm worried Lorelei is gonna be an issue. I don't really see the rest of the Elite Four being that bad though. Maybe Agatha could go poorly, but we can probably just surf our way to victory. You know how weird her AI can be? I'll go in all worried just for her to waste her turn switching or something. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. Out first is Dewgong, and we already weren't dealing much damage with any of our moves. I'd say we got lucky and paralyzed him on the first round, but Dewgong spams Rest, which gets rid of it. Our low damage output against stuff that resists water is really noticeable in this fight. I really wish our rock types actually learned some rock moves. Eventually, he went down without us taking a hit. It just took a while. Second is Cloyster, and we have to beat him with our Surf thanks to his insane defense stat. It's okay, we just got hit by Clamp a few times. It really wasn't that bad. Third is Slowbro, and I figured this is the Pokemon that would really shut us down, but on every round he just uses Withdraw and Water Gun, so we just switch to Surf and take him down pretty easily. Like, way easier than I have any right to. Fourth is Jinx, so I sent in Amber to outspeed it with Fire Blast, but it really didn't do a ton, and we just got one shot by Ice Punch in return. Okay, physical it is. I sent Helix back in, tanked an Ice Punch, and quickly took her down with some body slams. Not too bad. Last was Lapras, and right away our body slams didn't do much, but her Hydro Pumps took us down fast. All we have left is Dome at level 46, and although our Slash did a decent little chunk of damage, her Hydro Pump was hitting for about 100. We didn't last long. Okay, we're back with a few more levels. It basically went the exact same way until Jinx, who we just fought with Helix this time. She probably could have really messed us up if not for how she used normal moves, so we got the feint fast. For Lapras, we started by having Dome Slash until he went down, then we finished it off with Helix. We still took a lot of damage, but at least we got the win. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. We've got Surf for the rock types and Fly for the fighting types. He held on for a little while with some X defense and stuff, but he really blew every chance he had to actually hurt us, so it turned out fine. Third was Ghost Trainer Agatha, and what do I say about this fight? Look at the footage, it's all of the Agatha tropes. Switching back and forth for no reason, using Dream Eater on opponents that are awake, illegally using items as the second move in a round, this fight has it all. I mean, none of it paid off for her, she didn't even hurt us. It took until the very end of the fight for us to take any damage, and it was just off us hitting ourselves in confusion a bunch of times, then missing Wing Attack thanks to the 256 glitch. Then we got the knockout. Gengar in Gen 1 essentially has a really high special defense as a result of special just being one combined stat. So I used Aerodactyl for most of the fight since, you know, Fly hits ghosts, and Fly is physical. I probably could have just summed this up by saying it was a Gen 1 Agatha fight. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. First is his Water Onix, so right away we're body slamming, although it's not really doing much. We probably would have just fainted if it wasn't for one of his Hydro Pumps missing. Next was two Dragonairs that were both one-shots with Ice Beam. That move is a total lifesaver. For Aerodactyl, we got outsped and crit with Hyper Beam, but actually survived thanks to being a tanky rock type. Last was Dragonite, but he's double weak to ice, so one Ice Beam one-shot him too. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. He sends out Pidgeot first, and he's faster than us, so we take a Wing Attack, but fun fact, Wing Attack is literally the same move as Peck in Gen 1, just with a different animation, so we were fine. Alakazam was second, and we took some damage from Psybeam right away. I was kind of worried when he used Reflect, but our second Body Slam actually crit to take him down anyway. Reflect doesn't carry over from Pokemon to Pokemon in Gen 1, so that's perfect. Rhydon was of course a one-shot with Surf, and this time for Water Onix, I sent in Dome to just spam Slash. We actually almost made him faint before we did, but then he illegally used a Full Restore as the second move on a round, so he hung on. That's fine, I kinda figured Dome wouldn't last anyway. I sent in Helix to chip away at him instead. It took quite a few hits, and if it wasn't for a missed Hydro Pump again, I think we could have fainted. Next was Arcanine, who was faster than us and used Roar, a move that doesn't work in trainer battles in Gen 1. Nice try? Anyway, last was Venusaurus, so I sent in our massively underleveled Amber. Right away we started hitting Fly, and he only hit us with Mega Drain of all things. Well, a couple Flies took him down, winning us the run. That was a fun run. It's really nice to have a quick run after that super long Brilliant Diamond run. This one felt super fast, kinda like the old ghastly Pokemon Red run that I did. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge is going to be in 2 weeks, like usual. I'm not sure what run yet. I just got through a bunch of bigger challenges on my list, so this is around when I would normally go through a huge list of the tons of stuff that you guys have asked for. Then I try to pick out a few things that I think you guys would like. I'm going to need a little bit of time to figure that out, though. Ask me on Twitter. Might have already figured it out by the time you watch this. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Alright, outro bit thingy thing. What do I even have for, like, updates this week? I guess I already said it, but it was really nice to have a really fast run to do. After, man, I spent 2 weeks recording that Brilliant Diamond run, and then I spent 1 week editing it, and it kept me so busy I didn't have time for like anything else. So as me, voiceover MDB, is sitting here and finishing up this voiceover looking at that short time code, I know that this video is probably going to be a little bit of a short one. Hope that's not too disappointing for you guys, but it does mean that I'm gonna have a lot of time to work on other stuff this week, because this edit's not gonna take me that long, so maybe I could get back to some of those Let's Plays that I've been dying to get back to. I'll have probably already done more of the secret playlist I talked about a few weeks ago that some people have found. It was actually, the day that I first talked about it, it was coincidentally very easy to find, because I didn't realize that on YouTube nowadays, the default sorting thing is like, it sorts by whatever playlist most recently had something added to it, and it happened to be the most recent thing I added to because I had forgotten to put the Pokemon Challenge in its own playlist at the time. So it's a little bit more hidden in the playlist section now, you gotta look forward a little bit, but you know, it's there for if you're interested in the secret playlist that you're now all curious in. Oh my god. I'll probably be recording something new for that playlist this week, which by the time you're watching this means that it's already up on the channel, unlisted, as a secret. Isn't that so enticing? I hope so. We'll see. Honestly, it doesn't matter if no one finds it. It's just a fun side project. I need to get back to editing this, though, because, you know, if I don't edit it, you don't get to see it. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.